Well, hello. Hello, Scarboro in the house here. Hold on. Yeah, Scarboro here for another season 6, right? Talking real WOOP Sasquatch encounters. With your host, Thomas here, and Miss Heather on the sidelines.
Hello.
All right, ready to entertain you with the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, wood boogers, Sabe, whatever you
Little
like.
people.
Little people, catamounts, you name it, we know it. All right, right on. Cool. All right. So what's new? I got a chat line here. You feel free to add your comments. All right. First thing first. How's it going in the Sasquatch world with all this AI infiltrating everything we see and hear these days? Basically, stories, storylines, yeah, photos, videos, whatever. Hold on, try to adjust myself. Put on that. Didn't turn that fan on. Oh, it's okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. One of my topics for tonight is, all right, let me write it down. Who is the mightiest? Who is the mightiest warrior of the forest? Who is the mightiest? Yeah, mightiest. Mightiest warrior of the woods and forest. Do you think it's Sasquatch? Do you think it's the Dogman? Do you think it's the Rake? But I don't deal with the Rake. That's an evil entity, I think. That's dark. Now we're with the light. Yeah, light, love and light, right? Love and light. Light. No darkness. Even though it crosses our path from time to time, we have to deal with that, right, folks? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just never forget who you are and who you believe in, right? Yeah. Always have faith. Have faith in God to protect you.
Yeah.
I do. Miss Heather does, right? I know a lot of researchers who do, right? And it's helped me a few times. Do you think Sasquatch knows Jesus? Damn well he does. Of course he knows Jesus and everything else that goes on in this world, right? Sasquatch Council, right? They're informed. Let's say, right? They're telling us things that we don't know, okay? Right? Have they been around since biblical times? Of course they have. Right? I think they've been here on Earth as long as, possibly longer than humans, I say. Right? Or around the same time. Right? Okay. Is it Sasquatch or Dogman? Sasquatch or the Dogman? Ah, come on. Dogman. All right. Let's put it up. And let's show it. Right. Right. Who is the mightiest warrior of the woods and forests? Sasquatch or Dogman? That's our topic for today. One of our topics. Right. Recently, people are trying to rehash that same old story. There's a war going on between the Sasquatch and the Dogman. Yeah, I don't think so. No, there's no war. You have proof of a war, or is it just talk? BS talk, okay? No, I think there's an agreement between them. I've seen the photos and videos. Sasquatch and Dogman are together in the same photos, same videos, okay? Now, there might be certain Dogmen who are more authoritative figures and possibly guardians of the portals, right? Certain portals, right? That they may want to clear out the area and be in charge, right? And I know that for a fact. Okay. Sasquatch occasionally do get pushed out of areas, okay, by the Dogman. Now, that's not a war. That's just a mutual agreement to vacate an area before violence erupts, right? Okay. Now, you know, and I'm sure they've come to blows here and there, but I don't say there's any war. No. There may be disagreements on stuff. They can't be fighting. They got to deal with humans on a daily basis. Any given moment, there's 1,000 humans, Bigfoot, out there looking for Bigfoot, right? Sasquatch, Dogman with their cameras and their trail cams hidden, right? And trust me, they know, Sasquatch, they know when we enter the woods or forest, right? They know when we leave. They know what we're doing. Of course. That's how it works, folks. All right. All right. Hold on. I'm going to put up a video. Right on. Here's one. Not looking at it. Why isn't it showing? Come on, what the heck is going on here? Okay, let's try this again. I've been on here. They changed a few things. All right, there we go. Wow. All right, that's better. Let me get out of this picture. Here, go ahead for a second. We're going to start.
No. Oh, come on. That kitchen window. No, I need some air, man.
Next level. All right. Hey, stop, Heather. No, you're on. You can hear you fine. Cool. All right. Okay. Sorry. Come on, let's go. Where are we here? All right. There we are. I've been off for a while. Sorry, folks. Yeah. We've been off. Remove. All right. Yeah. Been taking a break after sharing a bunch of stuff last year on Dogman and what have you. Yeah. I had to deal with PTSD, which sucks. Okay. You know, it doesn't matter if, some of these people, whether you share or your story, whether people believe you or don't believe you, doesn't matter if nobody believes you. You still have to deal with that PTSD that you encountered and endured, right? During that episode, right? With the Dogman, with the Sasquatch, whatever it was, anything paranormal, whatever, aliens, yeah. And you might have memories that last for years and not be triggered till one day something happens and boom, instant flash. There's your memories all flooding back on you. Okay, right? And it just swamps you, right? I heard a few people recently admit they just seen a photo or something, a picture of something after years, and then wham, instant, instant, instant memory recall, right? Same thing happened to myself. I had some of my encounters were dormant, and I was watching a Bigfoot show one day, right, about 15 years ago, 14 years ago, right, and all of a sudden, wham, the memories start flooding back in in that, and I'm like, wow, I have suppressed all that. No, holy smokes. I already knew about a couple of them, right? Yeah, they were always with me. A couple of my encounters, right? They never left me, but there was other ones that, wow, man, I can't believe. Yeah, I remember now, right? You know, that happened, right? And more kept flooding in, right? The more I dug deeper into the research, I started redoing research after, right? And I said, wow, I've hit about 10 encounters, okay, with Sasquatch and Dogman, right? Yeah, not all of them were good. Some were scary. Yeah, right. Some never left me. My first encounters, right, at the Boy Scout camp up in Orangeville, Ontario, right? I had back-to-back encounters, Saturday and a Sunday, right? Both interdimensional and flesh and blood, right? And you know, Ringo Starr and George Harrison of the Beatles, their song, right? What's that song called, Heather? What's it called again? Do you remember?
No.
You're right. If you want to play the blues, you don't remember? We just played it 100 times, no? Anyways, okay, I'll give you the name later. Right. It was Things Don't Come Easy, right? Is the name of the song. Okay. Right. They don't. Especially when you have encounters. Right. And the turmoil you can endure. Right. Are you open to receiving telepathy, mind speak? A lot of people are not. Some people say, oh, it's the work of the D fellow, the dark guy, the dark energy people, things, creatures, entities, whatever, right? Right? To me, no, no, no. These creatures are smarter than you think. They know a lot more. Do they have a soul? I think so. Are they God's creatures? Yes. All of God's creatures on this planet, right? Now I'm not talking about extraterrestrials. I'm talking about terrestrials, right, on this planet, if they were, if they were, what do you call it? Uh, what's that word, Heather? No, not in the program today. Oh, time out. Yeah, what do we call it? If they were evolved on this planet one way or another, or were we evolved, or were we brought here from a different place, another planet? Were we formed, right? Test tubes? What? Who knows, right? Did we evolve from certain entities? Some people say Neanderthal are way different. We still share, the same body structure, insides and out, with the Neanderthal and other entities, Cro-Magnon and whoever, but we're all the same, inside and out, other than our skin colors. But they walk and run and can even talk after a period of time. We're in the same area, you live in the same area for, a certain period of time. We're born here afterwards. You'll have the same accent, right? Right. We have an Ontario accent. Try not to be more big city. Try to be universal sometimes. But, stress. I think stress brings out your accents, I think, personally. So when Bigfoot is stressed out in the woods and he wants to talk to you, what's he going to sound like? Right? What's he going to sound like? Is he going to sound normal to you, or is he going to sound like, some of those Sierra sounds where they're hyperactive and they sound like mongoloids? I don't believe that. I think that's an anomaly, a freak anomaly, right? Unless you can film more of record more of those sounds, certain sounds. You can't base your theory on one time only. You have to reproduce it. In science, that's why science has not endorsed, what's his name? Heather, that guy. What's his name? The guy there, Ron Moorhead. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, you need to recreate those over and over, right? Before science says, yeah, we're going with that theory, right? We've only cobbled bits and pieces together. That's all, right? So, anyways, what do you think of Bigfoot Barney on those logging? A different topic altogether. What about Bigfoot Barney? Those logs there, the guy walking around, with the suit on there, pulling pranks and whatever. Are you falling for that? Is it entertainment, or you think that's really Bigfoot? That's your image of Bigfoot, and you're happy with it, right? To each their own, right? Me, I could flip a coin. It doesn't bother me. I find some of it funny, but at the same time, it's depressing because, what image are you portraying? You're portraying Bigfoot's a doofus. And he's not. He's a lot smarter than you think, right? He's evaded humans for fucking centuries, right? So anyway, thumbs up for Bigfoot, Sasquatch, wood buggers, Sabe, right? Right. Cool. Anyway. Right on. Here, let's get one more going. Remove. All right. Make some room here. Remove. Play another video for you. Okay. While I pop on Mr. Doobie here. All right. If you're all high and mighty, too bad. Weed's legal here in Canada. So if it wasn't for weed, we wouldn't be doing a show. Right? Helped us survive the last 40 years, get through life. Right? Sometimes, that's all you had. And if it helped induce some laughter, which is good for your heart, all the better. right? Deal with the stress. You know, some people see Bigfoot once for a few seconds, whatever, and they'll never ever go back into the woods. They're absolutely mortified. You know, I don't understand why. You know, right? Ever since I was a little kid, you know, not too little, but you know, but 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 10. I known about Bigfoot, Sasquatch on watching the that famous movie with Patty. Yeah, okay, for sure. Right away. I knew as a kid. I said that's real. Like to me, it was real. And then 10 years later, you start hearing some talk about nonsense, whatever. But at that moment, as a kid, right, and I watched the guy there on the show, right, talking about what he filmed. You know, you could say, yeah, you're just a kid. What would you know about deceit, lies, or anything? I didn't. What's the word? He seemed like an honest gentleman. He didn't seem like he was lying through his teeth or anything like that. Right? Right? I don't care. To me, it looked legit. Right? As a kid, not a little kid, but a kid. Right? And then later you see, Steve Austin and $6 Million Man with Andre the Giant or whoever playing Bigfoot. You know that's not real. Okay? Obviously. You know, but watching Patty, no, that looked real. Okay, the walk, I've seen that walk recreated for me 2, 3 times. Okay, on road crossings, right in front of me, 20, 30 feet away. Yeah, daytime road crossings, nighttime road crossings. Okay, I've seen that walk, that infamous Patty walk. Right, they always recreate. They've recreated that for me several times. Right, I love it when they do that. At the same time, I was also a bit scared. Yeah, I'll admit it. Right, I don't care who you are. Right, when it's 8 foot tall and 1,000 pounds, 800 to 1,000 pounds. Right, even though you're sitting in your vehicle in your truck, you know, right? If it wants, but there was no intention. It told me not to be afraid through mind speak, telepathy. Yeah, right. They were always telling me not to be afraid. But I had trepidations. And then later on, I let go of those trepidations, right, and accepted them wholeheartedly, 100%, right. So that helped, right. But sometimes I just your mind's elsewhere that you were. I wasn't. You're not ready for that encounter when it happens. You're thinking of something else. You're going to do something else. And it happens when you least expect it sometimes. Well, that's not true, okay? I'd be lying if I said that, right? Because I did have a premonition that something was taking place, right? Or it's going to take place, right? So, except I was thinking about something else, right? And so when the encounter happened, I wasn't too surprised, right? I just wonder why now, but I just knew. But when you have different things that you can tap into, different sources of info of events that have taken place, right? That triggered your premonition or intuition or whatever, right? Then yeah, you'd be a fool not to think of a repeat of one of those situations, like a deja vu, past, present, or future. Is this happening now? Right? Did it happen already, or is it going to happen? And if you've ever been stuck in one of those cycles where it happened, you're experiencing that all the time, boy, man, you're pulling your hair out because you don't know. Yeah, you're trying to figure it out. All right, I have something important. I just recently remembered, right, about one of my encounters, one of my first encounters. So we're gonna take a quick break here. We're gonna light Mr. Doobie here, all right? Some Rainbow Driver because I can. And if you got a pickle about, cannabis, too fucking bad. Okay. Fuck. We'll talk about the little people in Sasquatch in a few minutes. Let me take a break here for you. All right. Thanks for watching, whether you're on live or not, right? On the channel, on the chat, whatever. If you're watching afterwards, I appreciate it. If you ever need to contact me, private message or something like that, we'll figure out a way. Right? Hold on. Right? I had a weird experience recently. I just remembered something happened about a certain area, and it could probably even happen to you, and if you've ever happened. Yeah. All right. Hold on, folks. Come on, let's get going here. Let's go. Sabe. Here's one. I always like this one. I filmed it. I put some special effects, but I filmed it. It was weird. I had a weird experience here. Wake up, Miss Hunter. Tired, huh? Come on, we got the big doobie going here. I like seeing those arches. Yeah, those things are important. Get everything out of there. Come on, Heather. I filmed that. See that? You see that, folks? Yeah, I filmed that. That's Bigfoot. Interdimensional image of Bigfoot. You know, that's just as real can be. Yeah, that's enough. Go away. That's there up near there. The Dogman and Michigan Dogman. Those I did. What do you call it? Shapeshifter. More action. Cool. Do you see him? Do you see him lined up? No, you didn't, did you? Come on, Heather, pass that back. Okay. I put some out to see. What? You okay? It's going or not? Cool. One more time. Let's play that one more time, all right? Yeah, film that. Cool. I thought it was so cool. Like you knew it coming there, that's it. Wow. So Bigfoot and buds. Don't be afraid to light up a joint when you're out looking for Bigfoot. You might actually entice them to come in and check it out. Sure. I did. It worked for me. And weed or hash never stopped me from meeting Bigfoot. Okay. Okay. Weird, eh? True stories. Multiple times. We are only human. We are devils. No, we're not devils. We are human. Right. We put a lot of time and effort, money into doing these videos, right? Over the years. You know, looking for my answers to multiple encounters we have. You know? Why we experience these things. You know? What's the meaning behind some of these experiences? Right? Who cares? Who really cares to know? Right? Everybody's now being fooled in by, you know, bullshit stories. Right? People with real encounters are getting pushed to the side. They hear a bunch of BSers. Yeah, whatever. I'm not here to tell you who the BSers are, right? It doesn't matter. Is the people with the real stuff are not getting heard. And there's a lot of reasons why. But the truth shall set you free. If you really want to know, you gotta search out those people. Right? For whatever reason. Right? A lot of people have different experiences. Right? They're not all the same here in Canada. We all see things differently. Right? Experiences different. Somebody has, you might have a similar encounter, but no one, I don't think anyone has, very rare that someone has the exact same, fine detail encounter. Possibly similar, maybe a quick view. But if it's an enduring one with, it's going to last a couple of minutes or more for whatever reason, I think those ones are different. I think it's tailor-made to the situation you're in, whatever the woods are, rivers, woods, while you're fishing, hunting, hiking, right? Camping. Where would you rather see Bigfoot, Sasquatch, in a zoo or out in the wild? You say the wild's scary? Yeah, well, the zoo's not scary too. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like. I've only seen them outside, so I don't know. You think Bigfoot would like to be in a fucking cage? Do you want to be in a cage? We do cage humans, right? And animals, right? What was that cartoon? I remember that one cartoon. What was that? Rocket Robin Hood or something, where these aliens they're flying through the universe, and they got all, they're picking up all kinds of different creatures and stuff, and they picked up the humans right here on planet Earth, set in the future, of course. Got flying machines, right? Right. So poor old Rocket Robin Hood and his buddy there, Will, and I forget who the other guy was. Not it was funny. They had to figure out how to get out of that mess. So, who wants to be in a zoo? Nobody wants to be in a zoo. Do you think the animals like being in a zoo? I don't know. Ask them. Is there any happy animals? It's pretty dangerous out in the wild, right? A lot of these animals you see in zoos, they've lived extended lives, right? But were they happy? Right? I think so. If it's, there's poachers, there's hunters, there's all kinds of things. There's diseases, there's starvation, right? Droughts. It's scary. There's nothing's guaranteed, right? Knock on wood, right? Double knocks sometimes. Boom. Yeah. You got to be careful out there. Even the animals, fuck, we've been hearing about, whatever. Is there going to be in Africa in 100 years, 200 with wild animals? Do you think so? How about North America? Is someone going to flip those parks and make it into real estate? Right? Who knows? Right? If there's a huge war and something, God forbid, something happened to our countries and they get taken over, well, hey, all bets are off. People can do whatever they want, right? Sure, they have some of these universal agreements on protected land across the world, UNESCO sites, and all this other stuff. But hey, who really knows, right? Who really knows, right? Have we gone beyond the madman stage that we can actually, control our destiny to a certain extent? I hope so. Right? Right? I hope so. Right? Peace, yeah, and trust, right? Makes the world go around, I hope. It's been working so far, right? Hopefully we can break that warring, just like Sasquatch. Do you think he's had to fight other Sasquatch clans? Right? Is there any domineering clans that we might want to know about to avoid or seek out if we're brave? Right? Can they take over the woods? right? You think they would have a pitched battle with the Dogman, right? Winner take all, or hammer out an agreement. They divvy up the places, right? These sections of the woods and forest, mountain ranges, territory, you know? Can they advance? Do you think they're capable of advancing to that stage? Right? Like, like let's say like a futuristic Planet of the Apes scenario, let's say. Can it happen? I don't know. There's Hollywood movies. I don't know. I'm sure they've touched on certain aspects of this theme, right? Right? Or is man? Who's the mightiest warrior of them all? Is it man? It must be, right? Mankind, right? Man, man is the mightiest warrior of them all. Okay, man. You don't think so? You think it's some on this planet? I don't know what's out there, but on this planet, who's the mightiest warrior of them all? Mankind. Yeah, man. Okay, they got nuclear rockets. They got nuclear subs. They had whatever. They got fireballs. Right? What do fucking Bigfoot and Sasquatch and Dogman have? What do they have? A stick? A club? Mind thoughts? Right? What? Weapons? Or teeth? Or their claws? Their teeth? Well, is that enough? Man has firepower. Right? You don't know what, different kinds of firepower. Some lethal, some extra lethal, right? Right. From sound waves, right? Sure. These creatures also have sound waves. What do you call that? Infrasound, right? Yeah, infrasound. Right. Oh, I meant to take this down. Hold on. Whatever. Infrasound. How long have I been on here? 50. It doesn't matter. I've been on for a while. I had to take a break. I said, right? Excuse me. Had allergies to deal with, some other stuff. Excuse me. Anyways, let me get rid of this thing here. All right. There we go. I mean, hide in the corner there. Sometimes you feel safer when you're talking about certain things, right? Big spotlight on you, whatever. It's been a stressful, it's been a long 10 years. Stress. Yeah. Fixed my hair, what's left of it. But yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful. It is. I don't care who you are. It's bloody stressful. Doing a Bigfoot and Dogman when you're family or your friends. They might believe you. They most likely don't. Right? Some don't even want you even talking about it. Threat of divorce. Right? You would be absolutely jackpot winner if you had a partner who was also into it and did the research with you, went out in the woods and all that. That is a rare commodity, okay? If you have a partner, and you better thank your lucky stars every single day, okay? That they're behind you 100% and are also very interested in the topic. Certain times they like looking for certain things too, and seeing things and also spotting things in the videos or photos that you missed. Okay, it's always fantastic. What the heck was that? I don't know what the heck that was. Hold on. Yeah, no, right. Remember my partner, Miss Heather, when we were out in the woods, found that Dogman print. That just blew me away. I might have overlooked it, right? But she found it, right, first, right. That was a really exciting day. Okay. And I also filmed something that was nearby. Well, with her in the frame. Yeah. So that was interesting. Very interesting. Right. A lot of times it's, we're suburban researchers, so a lot of times we're filming in and around a suburban area, right? Big city, big smoke. Excuse me, sorry. So I do go out too, though, to the woods and that. So don't be afraid. Don't worry. Yeah. Whether you're camping or whatever you've done, right? Or don't matter. You can see big. You can have an experience with Bigfoot in your local park if you want. Right? He'll be interdimensional. You know, depends on how strong the meditation and the vision is. You know, he might come might only see a trace of him, right? You know, what do you call it? Like cloaked a bit or whatever, or transparent sort of image, or he might start getting more definition built in, right? If the encounter's strong, I'm talking about an interdimensional encounter, right? When that happens, right, right, they'll they'll look a little different, okay, in that, right? So maybe the use of a portal, and it doesn't matter. They can make noise. Break a stick or different stuff, right? Make ruffle things up. They can do that, okay. In that they're not just like paperless or whatever, like like they're just an image, like a hologram that doesn't do anything. No, they're real, right? They want to, guess how much, I guess depends how much energy they put into it to make themselves, appear flesh and blood. Like there's different degrees of going through that, forward and back, right? Do they travel through the portal, as a solid being or as a transparent being, a spiritual being, right? That's what I meant to say. Spiritual, right? Spiritual form. There. Yeah. Okay. See, I lost my partner here somewhere. That's okay. She's tired. She gets up early in the morning, just around noon. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, others works out every day. She's doing good, right? We're going on an adventure or two this summer to film. Film for Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe. Yeah, it's a late start. And whatever, the weather's been horrendous this year, right? Where I live, Southern Ontario area, Ontario, different areas to travel. I've already made plans for several places. If one or two work out, I'm grateful. I'm not as mobile as I used to be, so I'm doing better, right? I'm working out too and trying to get things done. I don't want to miss it. Even though I've had encounters and stuff and that, I still like to have another one when possible. I had one last time was 2018 uh, and then one last year, right? Yeah, that a spiritual one. Yeah, that was great, right? But the other one was a portal right in front of me. Fucking amazing. Yeah, yeah, the big, huge blue orb. Wow, yeah, that was amazing to see that happen. Real Sasquatch come out of a portal right in front of your eyes. A blue orb. Blue, I think, is Sasquatch color. I've seen things tied to fences, trees that were blue, a blue ribbon. Okay, that's a signal, right? A sign. We're nearby, right? Do you have a guardian? What do you call it? Spiritual guide, Sasquatch spiritual guide. I do, right? My friend Berlin. Yeah. Before I had a few other ones, right? Come through for me. Yeah. Isha. She was good. She was good to us. Yeah, I loved her. She was really good. Man. But she's being reassigned. I always think about her. Yeah, she's in the heart. Okay. Wow. I remember one time. Yeah. Well, multiple times when they gave us those balloons for Valentine's Day. That was phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. Wow. Whatever. Another time. I want to get sentimental because we got business to take care of here. Right? I'll continue that talk here. Hold on. Yeah. I'm looking for something. Yeah. All right. 1 minute. I'm going to play something. Give you a small break here. All right. Let's find something else interesting. Canada Day's coming up. Right? What was that? Oh, yeah. I hate seeing this one, but we're going to play it. Here we go. Hey folks, it's Scarboro Sasquatch here today. Checking it out. May 2023. Check it out. The signs of cryptids. Another year, another adventure. Right. Alright, check it out. Something looks strange this year. Is that a disease in the trees or something? Trees. Got a lot of bare trees everywhere. They sprayed last year with toxic signs down here by the creek. So, by the creek, yeah. Check it out. Let's go across here. Scour the area. Way up in the canopy. Hello, my friends. How are you today? Hello. How are you? Thank you for letting us take your photos. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated, my friends. Thank you. Oh, that's probably doggy doo-doo. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah. Check it out, my friends. Oh, that's a little odd. She's a freak. Yeah. Ooh. Yes, I know. Let's go. Right. All right, hold on. We're going. We're having a boo. Who? Oh, yeah. Where? I see him. Yeah. I see it. Great.
I'll hit him like this, man.
Yeah. You hit him low, you know, take him with a headshot. Okay, we're on. Check it out, my friends. Check it out. Weird. Place is being ripped right open.
Bigfoot. Look.
Great. Wow, eh? That's incredible.
Rod.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, it is. Just hold
It
on.
looks like a foot.
It does, but hold on. Let me just film this. Wow. Yeah, incredible stuff. All right, folks, hold on. I'll be there with you shortly. Wait, where'd I put that? That is big. Yeah.
Hold on, mine. It's right here where I am. Look at it.
That's cool, eh?
Yeah.
That's a big foot, eh? Wow. Giant.
yeah,
Gigantus.
come on, go.
Wow, check that out. That's huge. Hey? Hey, yeah.
Dad, I'm getting.
Right on. Yeah, we're gonna split here. Look. Bark's peeled. There's some kind of disease on the trees. There's also a major tick infestation here. Already took half a dozen off, peeled them off me, off my jacket. Here. Time to vamoose right out of here. This is all over, folks. Scarboro's home-based research has been ripped apart. Well, check the old videos, folks. The proof, evidence, whatever you want to call it. Visual history is right there on YouTube, Facebook, in the groups. Check that out, man. And women, check it out. That was all closed in. Wow. Incredible. Wow. Wow. They made a big trail here. That's amazing. I will. I'll check it. I checked it twice. So it's all over. Don't lean on anything.
I'm not.
It's bad, man. It's horrible here. They destroyed. This place is destroyed. Wow, this was so amazing. Where are those people going up the trail? Yeah, I don't see anything.
I watch these videos before I head
Okay.
out to remind me what's out there.
Check
Right?
myself,
When you
too.
want to be a
I
researcher,
did. I did.
All right.
you want to go in the woods,
All right. Wow.
you don't have to worry about
Incredible,
big,
yeah.
you have to worry about the little thing.
I'll check myself too, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You know, I shared, for years. I've been posting stuff.
You know,
Posting stuff, I showed the portal and that, and the tree where I had the encounter, the DM. Yeah. And guess what? They took out that clump of trees. Right? They took out the other clump of trees where I had the where the portal was. Okay, they ripped everything out.
Ew.
See what happens when you
brick
share?
wall there still.
And it also causes fucking damage.
Trail up there.
Right? You want to share stuff? You want to tell stuff about Bigfoot and Sasquatch? Look what
Brick
happens.
work.
They rip everything out.
Right
If
there
you
was
think
the
there's something
paranormal
going
spot.
on. Right? They're not stupid.
And
They
then,
know.
folks, yes, right there.
Right? We know we're not allowed to share
Yeah, right in here.
things, right?
Paranormal
And I've stated this
activity.
multiple times on the show,
Central.
right? I can't tell you
Wow.
certain things. and
Changed
I'm not
up our
going to,
place. Yeah.
Right? Anyone says so,
We
they're
follow
full of shit,
Scarboro. They check, see what we do.
right? They're BSing you,
I don't.
right?
Yeah.
No. You want to have that knock on the
No,
door.
be
You want to be followed.
Yeah, they
Right?
follow. They
You want
watch.
the copters following you over and
You're
over.
onto something.
Well, then
Check it out.
don't do it because it's real. They will.
Thank you.
They'll follow you. They'll
Thank you for
tell
letting
you.
us film. Thank you.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
Thank you.
Right? You don't believe that? You're a fool.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry.
Shocked.
Or you've never really
I knew this
experienced
was
the
gonna
real
happen.
hardcore
It's-
stuff.
You get
alright?
shocked when you actually
Yeah.
see it happen.
And whatever.
They rip your place
A lot of
apart,
shit I
man.
can't
Holy
share.
smokes.
I can't even tell you.
Incredible.
Things, right?
All right.
I'm not going to.
Wow,
Right?
man.
It's just too complicated.
No, well, we're gonna get
a
a
lot of
spot.
people have a hard
Okay?
time
We'll go to
believing
the other side.
some stuff, right? I've been on shows.
Yeah, on the other
Sometimes you
side.
get a half decent response.
Check
There's
it
always
out, my friend.
people
Hold on, let me
who will try and
Yes.
ridicule
let's adjust the focus.
you, ridicule you, and that.
Check it out.
And then
Everything
to other
either
people,
pushed
oh,
over
whatever.
or
they're
bowled
afraid
over
or
or
outright
whatever.
don't wanna
I don't. This
believe.
ain't no storm
Or
damage.
whatever, they have their own
I
reason,
don't think. Look,
right?
I think it's
And
purposely
that's
been split.
all the power to them.
Where are we?
But you know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things we hear that aren't real, so that are made up.
I gotta get here on the
Yeah,
other side.
entertainment factor,
Wow.
you know, whatever. Don't matter. I've experienced some crazy stuff. What
Spies.
incredible stuff, right? Well, whatever.
No, but the spies in the sky.
Here's
Hear
not the
that
place
plane?
to tell you either. Okay. No,
You know, Scarborough's out
no,
there
it's
again.
a minute.
We gotta find a new spot to go.
Certain things.
You know, here it's over. You know, sad but true.
I've seen a
Down our
couple
spot.
people in the past 6 months.
Their
you know,
home base
one lady
research,
down
it
in the-
destroyed it.
I think she was in Maine
Alright.
somewhere, Vermont or Maine. It was just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing
Report.
away all kinds of info, right?
Yeah, all the good stuff.
Kind of dangerous to do. Like I don't know what you're trying to prove.
Where's the thing?
Be
The fireplace.
famous, infamous, what?
Let's go have a look.
You know,
Sure.
there was stuff, you know,
Alright.
important stuff, but it wasn't the most important stuff. You know, there's stuff that she didn't
weird.
know, whatever. But there was some stuff that I was surprised that
Totally
she was
weird, man.
mentioning
That
about
is
it. You know, and there's always, you know, karma or whatever you call it, repercussions, karma. That
Just
you
hold
gotta
on.
be
We're gonna
careful.
take a break in
when
2
you share
minutes.
that kind that's critical stuff. I don't know.
Winding here.
Are people ready for that stuff?
Right?
Right?
No birds, no chirpers.
You know, does that info make a difference if it gets,
Wow.
you know, into the public hand?
Noon hour.
Maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to
No.
flip that coin here, that imaginary coin. Wondering,
Yeah.
you know, as a researcher,
Arches
you've had to
there.
dig away. You know, after 10 years digging away, bits and pieces here and there. Take what you need, leave the rest behind. For stuff that matches your encounters.
Yeah,
Right? You know how many times I've done that, looking for that tiny bit of info, even if it's 2%, 5%.
somewhere.
Very rare is it 10%. You know, but it's good to hear that.
It's up on the ridge.
Right? I've had different encounters, so you know some of them aren't really, you know, the big woo adventures. A lot of them have a lot of strange stuff. So whatever. I like to hear your strange stuff, but a lot of people are afraid to mention it. They leave certain things out. Especially if they, you know, one person I know, don't personally know, all right? You know, he's had a couple encounters. He's been on a show or two, right? Presently popular shows, right? But I say he's leaving something out. He's leaving the gist of the encounter. Like they just show up and boom. Come on, it's got to be more than that. You had to experience something or whatever. Maybe you're afraid being someone of importance in your community, and that, you know, people don't want you to think you're too strange. I could understand that, right? It's hard. I guess it might be hard to share that, but you're not helping. Okay, you're not helping the other folks here who do experience the woo or have experienced the woo. All right, we need to, you know, think about them, right? You know, lend credibility to their stories. You know, it's like to be the lone wolf sitting out in the fucking way out in the fucking field by yourself for years. Because your stuff doesn't match anyone else's fucking stuff, and nobody wants to fucking even touch that or go near it. They've slowly been wading in, right? Fuck, I remember when At first, the dogmen are real here on the internet, right? Fucking 99.95% of the people said you're full. No, there's no such thing, right? Yeah. Okay, don't tell me, okay? And it's only been a short while. Everyone's like, Yahoo! Now there's dogmen, there's werewolves, that, right? I remember people, hardcore researchers and that hunters and that freaking out once they found out there was a dogman in the woods, okay? No, some of these guys didn't go back hunting again, okay, by themselves once they found out. It was bad enough they found out Bigfoot was real, and possibly has been in their area. Okay, but once they found out about Dogman, that was it. They hung up their fucking sporting goods, right? And that was it. It's all over but the crying, right? Some of these guys, they couldn't accept it. Whatever. I don't know if you really want to see Bigfoot in the woods. I mean, Dogman. Do you? Do you really? I don't know. I think that's scary. Okay. Sure it is. For whatever reason, right? What is their intentions? Do you think their intentions are any good? Bad? Scary? They're out to get you, right? Turmoil? Yeah, all of the above. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Right? Excuse me. Sounds, yeah, we already said it. All right. Whoa. Yeah, 1 second. One more here. Right. All right, one more. Let's go. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll get another video. I've seen one there I wanted to see. You guys, yeah, I need a warm up. Your brain has to warm up. If you're going out in the woods again to film, I'll be doing that very soon. I can't just go walk into the woods. I got to prep. You got to prep your mind, right? You got to prep your body and your mind and get ready, right? You got to be ready. One more. Okay, one more. What's this? Did we already just show this? We did. Is it a different version? Anyway, let me get one more. I thought we already showed that. Oh, cool. Finally. Cool. Right? Yay. cool. Hold on. I missed it. Figures.
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey,
It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
what keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, hey, guys, cats, come on. Wiping out everything. Holy smoke. Sorry. Yeah, we're at National Squatchers. Okay. Oh, come on, you guys. Crafty. What's up? Wow. You guys. Here. Gotta get back to the floor. Just get a breakdown. Hey, wait, wait. Come on, be careful, guys. Be careful, please. Be careful. Guys, we'll be done here too, alright? Just one minute. Sorry. Alright, come on, guys. Be careful, please. Yeah. Thanks. Alright. We'll try to reorganize. It's this. Okay. Work. Great. Ready? We're gonna wait on my Alright. Alright, guys. Be careful. Okay, who's picking my toes? That's cats everywhere. Alright, Hannah, I love you too. Alright, guys, we're back. Check it out. Here's a street wine. Last one. Third one. This one is the one. There you see it? Right in the middle. We all envision things differently, you know. Take your time, you know. Check it out. What happened to my? What happened here? Oh, it ended. Oh, that's what happened. One more time. There's some good stuff in here. Yeah. I don't think I can edit like this anymore. I don't think why I had the left to do that anymore. There you go. You have to save in two nice. One of my favorite images. That's cool. Oh yeah. That was more from the tree. See that? Did you see that? You can go back and watch it. Yeah. This is what others, they don't have this stuff, right? This is the hidden world of Sasquatch. Yeah. This is real weird. There you go. Right there it is. That's so cool. White cancer. Again. Right?
You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey,
It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it.
what keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh
portal. Yeah. On the branch there? No? Sasquatch carrying a little one across the river. See that? Right there. I can't stop it. Where'd it go? Right there. See him? Right there on the branch. Heather, you see him? Right there. Half a dozen of them lined up. About 8, 10 of them, right? They're only about 2 inches tall. 2, 3 inches tall here as per screen, part of the screen, 2 inches here. Whatever. Right? A whole row of them on the branch. Yeah. Here. You can see their features and that. You gotta, I can't blow it up here, but yeah, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whatever. And there's something going on here. I don't know what that is, but they're all in a row. Yeah. Yeah. See them? Yeah. And there's one, and there's more on this side, several on this side too, right? So they're like, they're like, whatever. There's some kind of celebration going on. It's all like, right? That's what it looks like. And there's a Sasquatch face looking on in the background on here into what's going on. There's a face right at the end of the branch is there looking onward. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else going on in these other things here. You can all decide for yourself. There's another little person between the crook of the tree here. Right there, there's a face right there in the center here. Top center. Right. Other little faces. Right. Whatever. Interdimensional, of course. Right. Interdimensional. Hey, little cat. Chucky's trying to get out again. God. Oh, she's a challenge. We love her though. Chuckers, be good, baby. Little one, be good. Come on. All right, let's get going. Yeah, that was cool. More little people, if you can see it. Not to make yeah, right here. Come on. Right there. See? Guy's got his arm embraced, stretched out and turned up. It looks like carrying a little one. Yeah. Across the river. Or vice versa. Or there's 2 of them. Right? This guy here, and he's got a different one helping them across the river. They're together. Yeah, it's so weird. You see different things, right? It looks like either there's one big guy or there's 2 of them attached together, like holding on to cross the river so they don't drown, and a little one too, possibly. 1, 2, or 3. You decide. Cool. Either way, it was challenging to try and get some of that some of that detail, right? Is that a leg? Is that an arm? Same with this. There's an arm. Looks like it's bent at the elbow, holding on. The other side of the chest there, yeah. Stretched straight out. A 90-degree angle, right? Like I said, there's just one image of the entity crossing the river, right? You might take a different photo, a screenshot, or whatever. Yours might come out differently, right? This is what I caught, right? Let's see if I can go back 2 seconds here. All right. Anyways, Nobody wants to stay and learn, right? Yeah. See why they want instant gratification. You don't want to do the hard work to learn. That's okay. Well, they're not having the encounters, and we are, right? Yeah. Nobody wants to do the heavy lifting. Learn. All right, cool. Let's get out of this thing. I'm going to wrap up the show in a minute. Okay. All right. All right, hold on. Hold on. All right. That's the stage. Okay. What the heck was that? Oh God. Other thing is a June bug came in. No, where'd that go? Great. Well, we're almost done the show anyway. Look what he's doing. What is that? What you got there? What is it? Is it a big moth or what? How'd that get in here? Well, something. All right, come on, you guys. Be there. I don't need that moth. Let him go back outside. That's at the door. It has to go in my clothes. Where'd he go, guys? Did you find him? Right. Anyway, next show we'll talk more about portals, okay? And a bit more about the portals I introduced tonight. Blue orb. 2 other portals, don't matter. Sometimes there could be no color. You can just sense the doorway, you know. There is no colors or flashing lights or anything. It's just a doorway, and you have to sense it to know it's there. You can walk into it. And maybe that's what happens to some. That might happen to a hiker, or people in the woods. Walk into a portal. Don't know. Some portals are different, right? Maybe there's no. I don't know. You end up somewhere else. I don't know. I walked into a portal like that once or twice. It scared me. Right. Yeah. When I couldn't find the doorway back out, I panicked. Okay. And I didn't go far, like 5 or 10 feet. And yeah. And I thought the doorway was right there, and I couldn't find it to get back out. And I panicked. Okay. And then I found it. And got out, and I was scared. I never revisited it again. That portal, that type of portal, or go in. Yeah, I mentioned this years ago, and I had it verified by another researcher. He said it was the real deal. So I don't know. That's what I experienced, right? Is that your subconscious mind taking you there, astral projection, or what? Right? I tried to find that portal after. It was hard to find. It took me years to fucking look. I thought it was somewhere else. Yeah, that's another story. Probably for the book. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay your $9.95 to figure it out. Oh God, I don't know if I could even share that one. That was freaky. I have shared it. Okay, so it was freaky. So let's all be safe, folks out there, when you're doing the research. Right? Honestly. Right? Yeah. Thanks for watching. Right? Whether you watch now or you're watching later. Right? Thank you. Right? It was our season 6 opener. I had to force myself to come on. You know, I've been delaying. I don't know. I wasn't into it a lot of times. Right? Get the gumption up to go and do it. Right? It's not about having a guest or anything like that. I just share my own stuff. Right? You know, real stuff, real things. Right? Yeah, we'll have a few guests on this season. All right. Try and talk. Hit a topic or two of interest that might interest you, right? Might interested me, right? Last year we did the supernatural and some other shit. I tried to add Dogman in that. I'm trying to, whatever. I paid a price for all that, Fucking PTSD hit me hard some nights, some days, whatever, Like I said, regardless, someone believes you or not, right? Don't worry about that. It's a PT. You have to experience that event over and over, or even a different event when you start talking about this stuff, right? It's hard to distance yourself from being, put yourself right there in the encounter again, right? You're reliving the moment, right? And sometimes we do that. Tell the story, it's real raw emotion you're trying to convey into words. It's hard sometimes, right? Right. And if you're being there, okay. Yeah, I don't care if it was 3 seconds on the side of a road or a couple minutes or whatever, right? We all experience things differently, right? Some people only see them from a distance, or heard them pounding on their fucking walls, or stuff scratching and this and that, whatever, getting a faint image or whatever, man, and just panicking and just splitting, right? Back up and go, whether it's paranormal or it's cryptid or whatever, extraterrestrial, UFOs, whatever, you know, we all have the boogeyman, ghosts, right? All that stuff, right? Right? Yeah. And then some people even have angel encounters or guardian angels, right? Think your lucky stars you do, right? Double knocks there. Yeah. Yeah. Those are harder to deal with, those encounters, right? I don't know if you should really be sharing some of that, right? Who's going to really believe that, right? Well, some people really do, right? But, there's a lot of emotions sometimes involved, certain emotions, other things, right? Is that part of your higher power? I think so, right? I think our higher powers are multiple things, all into one. God has, like different. It all comes into, into one. Out of many, there is one. Like the Sasquatch comes, right? Boom, right? God, and everything underneath him. It's like an umbrella, right? Everything's underneath God. Is it not? I think so. God, a supreme being? Of course he is. Right? Is there other supreme beings in the universe? I don't know. I only know of our God in our universe, right? Does he control other universe? I don't know those answers. That's not my field of expertise. I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't study that. I look into it, but I think you have to dedicate your life to get those answers, and it probably has to do too certain beliefs and stuff. I think like what is it, what do you call those the Hindu the Vedas or whatever they're called? The different levels of consciousness. The seventh heaven or whatever, different levels you go up, attain that. Those people are more subject to have a certain answer or for that type of topic, right? We're just beginners, right? Right, looking up into the heaven, right? Is there more than one heaven? I don't know, right? I know there's a heaven, right? I believe that, right? Golden city in the sky. I believe that, right? You have to house the people somewhere, they're not just floating around as spiritual beings, like dust bunnies. No, I think they really have somewhere to stay and live some kind of life. What's that? I don't know. We don't hear enough. We don't get many answers from, you get these fantastic tales, people who have NDEs, right? But who knows, right? Are they only? Is that a pre-programmed, vision in their minds, their subconscious minds? Is that pre-programmed, right? To tell not to freak everyone out, or I don't know, right? Some people, myself included, only had the door didn't open to this fantastic dream sequence of events that they experienced, right? They said it was real or whatever. I don't know. I never experienced that. I had an NDE, so right. Maybe I wasn't gone long enough. I don't know, right? Maybe I was just in a certain stage, right? The entrance. It wasn't, where there's a chance of you to come back, a good chance, right? They're working on you as they're, so blah blah blah. Long story short, maybe these other people, some I don't know. They have you depends on the situation, right? And how many minutes it was they were under, right? But I always wonder if that's just some kind of dream sequence. We're all pre-programmed with, the you have to bypass that to get the real answers or something. Maybe you won't like the real answers. So, I don't know, right? I don't know, right? How many people could say, their loved ones came back, whether it's parents or partners, and told them a fantastic tale about heaven or stuff. I don't know. Does that even happen, right? I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Okay. Right. So that's all I can say. Thanks everyone for today. Right. Did better. I had to get over a bad case of laryngitis I had for 3 months. Survived today, half decent. I took a few breaks just to save my voice to make sure. Right. Still working on it, getting better. And that I think it was a lot of the PTSD stress, right? Was triggering some of that. Oh yeah, for sure. It was. It was real stressful. Some of that you're trying to talk about shit that happened to you. You're lucky to get out alive. For whatever reason. And remember, God gave us humans dominion over these creatures, these cryptids, whatever you want to call them, right? Sasquatch, Dogman, Sabe, Sabe's more of the spiritual Sasquatch, right? Anyways, Dogman, little people, right? Portals, all that, right? But doesn't mean we have to be pricks about it or stuff like that. You still have to be nice in this world, get by, right? Remember, like I said, Sasquatch, they have, right? There's mothers, there's fathers, they have kids, right? Right. So remember that they have families, right? Before you start, taking pot shots at something, right? That's a parent out there. That's a father, right? With kids, right? Did he harm you? Right? No, I don't think so. I'm not saying, you might have done something and something might have happened, right? Right. I can't vouch for everyone or that, but majority are just like you and I, family people want to be left alone, right? Right, and try and keep it that way, right? Do we really need to be, tromping through their marked territory? No, we don't, right? Unless you're being invited in to have a meeting and talk, right? You should respect their territory markers, and we need to talk more about those and learn, right? Instead of putting we need to be more open-minded, I'd say, right? And go and get to the next level, right? It's time to move up, go past the fifth footprints, past the structures, DPs, right? Start learning the different signs. There might be Sasquatch in this area. That's certain. But they love? No. Yeah, to a certain extent, maybe. But still, they want their space. You're in their backyard. You're in their house, right? The woods. So have some respect. That's all I can say. Thanks for watching, right? Another season opener, 6. We'll be back soon, right? More shows, right? And filming live, all this other stuff. We'll see what we can do, right? Have some more adventures this summer, right? Working towards it. Thanks for watching Scarboro, right? Talking the real WOOP Sasquatch encounters, right? Cool. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye.